Hello guys, welcome back to another short video. In this video I want to show you how to find true break of market structure in the higher time frame, so that when you move on to the lower time frame you can see it happening in the real time. So another thing before we move on, you might be asking yourself a question that this is going to be hard or easy. This is going to easy, but I'll make this video so that everybody can understand it very easily. This is not going to be hard. If it's hard, then you're making it hard for yourself because you don't put enough time on your chart. So let's move on to the example of this video on how we can find a break of market structure from the higher time frame to the lower time frame very easily. So let's find the pattern. This is the pattern that we are going to look for in the higher time frame, and mostly you are going to look at this candlesticks here. I think I have mentioned this before in the previous video. I'll link it in the description below so that you can go and check it out. So the first thing that you're going to do from this example here, there is no break of market structure here at all. There is no break of market structure from this example here. And lastly, before we move on, I want to point out that this will be helpful when you are going to backtest or when you are trying to find a good trade setup on a daily basis. The first thing that you are going to look at from this example is this low here must be broken aggressively, because this is still a higher low, okay? And then this low here is still this low, and then this low is still this one here. As you can see, we have this low here. Let me change this color so that everything can be clear. Make it blue so that we can identify it. So from here, guys, when you see this kind of structure in the market, that means there is no break of structure. Let's say maybe we are on the 1 hour time frame. If you are scalping in the lower time frame, you won't find any break of market structure. But if we do something like this, maybe something like this, let's do something like this, maybe like this here, this right now will become your break of structure in the higher time frame if you see something like this. So that means when you move on to the lower time frame, you will see that the market did something like this. Then you will have a potential to take a sell position. You will do something like this. Then you will be looking to enter the market around here when the market retraces back to fill up this fair value gap in this area here. So this will look something like this. So right now we can move on to the charts so that we can see this in a real market explanation or something like that, whatever. So let's move on because this is a quick video, guys. So let's say right now you are looking to enter long after looking at this zone here, this demand zone here. We have a demand zone here. We have a demand zone, and also we can see that we have a confirmation candle over here. If you don't know what is a confirmation candle, just go through the channel. You'll find a video that I explain about confirmation candle. As you can see, we are still on the 3 hours time frame. We are still on the 3 hours time frame. So when we move on to the lower time frame, we want to enter. We are still skeptical about where we are going to find that break of structure. So to find it easily, you just have to look at this candlesticks here. Let's make it white, because as you can see right now the market is bullish, but we don't consider this one right now. But if we move on to the lower time frame, we are certain that we might see a break of structure, because we are in the 3 hours. Let's try to move on to at least the 15 minutes and find it. Let's look at this area. As you can see, a clear break of market structure here. If you are looking to go long, you can use this candlestick here and go long when the market tap here, or wait for a market to close with a bullish candle here so that you can take this long position. So that's how easy it is. And we can clearly see that another one, I think, is right here. Let's look at this area. We have a bullish candlestick here, okay? But the problem, if we are looking to go along from this bullish candlestick here, the problem is one. It's because we don't have a break of market structure of this candlestick. So that means there's no long positions from us here. And then what if we find that the market broke this candlestick and then broke to the downside. If we move on to the lower time frame, you will see that we will have a break of market structure. And even here, you will find a break of market structure, but it's a little bit minor because we are on the top of the trend the market needs to correct. So if you are still taking trades at this area, please go and study Elliott wave. This will benefit you a lot, because you won't be taking trades at this highest areas here, because the market still needs to consolidate at the end of the day. So let's move on to the maybe 1 minute, because we are still on the 15 minutes. We are going a little bit down right now. As you can see right now, that break of market structure happened around these areas here. So that's why you can see that this trade even failed if you are still trying to enter the market around here. And we can look at this area in a different way. We can see that we have an impulse at this side, and then the market was just correcting, and then the market started to move to the downside aggressively again, like this one. So this was just a correction again. So don't ever try to buy the market at the highest point, because the market still needs to consolidate. That's why you need to buy low and sell high. So let's try to find another example so that this can be a little bit easier for you guys to understand. I'll move on to the maybe the daily time frame. Let's check the daily. Let's check the daily time frame. Let's look let's look at this area here. The market was trending to the downside like this. So if we put a horizontal line here, there's a break of market structure in the lower time frame, because we can see that the market shifted above this high of this bearish candle. And then, but if we move on again to the lower time frame of this candlestick here, you will see that the market didn't break to the upside. The market is still consolidating at this area. Because we are on the daily time frame, let's move on to the maybe 30 minutes and see what happened here. As you can see, the market broke to the upside and still consolidate here without even breaking to the upside, because there was no shift in market here. I mean, like the previous day was not even tapped at all. The market was still consolidating in between the previous candles day range from this area here. So there's no break in market structure, but if you look clearly, you can still find some good things that you can do in this area. If you are still looking to go long, by the way, because you can clearly see that the market shifted higher, went lower, higher, went lower, tapping into this previous low, but without even closing below. I won't consider this as a break of market structure, even if the market comes and retest around this area and then drop lower like this. The market shifted higher and then drop lower. I won't consider this as a break of market structure, because the market pushed below, but there's no candlestick that closed below this previous low here. So another thing is that if you are looking to go long around these areas here, you can see that the market shifted higher, traded lower, higher again to this area, and we can clearly see that even few candlesticks closed above this previous high here. So you can still try to enter at the retracement using this demand zone here. So, but because we were on the daily, if we move on to at least the 12 hours, the 8 hours, you will see that there is a break of market structure through the candlesticks. So let's try to do that. That be the 12 hours, maybe something like that. Let's see. Whoa, the market just dropped aggressively. Where were we? 1D. Yeah, we were around this area here. Let's move on to the 12 hours. There's nothing here in the 12 hours. The market was still consolidating again. So let's try the 4 hours. Still looking the same way, but let's try to explain this area here one more time. So, like as I said before, the market shoot higher and then made this bearish candlestick, and then the next candle dropped below it. There will be a shift in market structure on here. So after this candlestick, we can see that the market was still aggressive, and then we had the last bearish candlestick here. So if you are looking to go long, you can try to go long after this candlestick. We can see that this candlestick here traded above this bearish candlestick. So there will be a market structure that was broken, and you will see that there will be two market structures that was broken because the market tried to push higher aggressively. That means there's a lot of volume that the market is trying to push to the upside. So in this kind of situations, you just have to move to the lower time frame. Because we are on the 4 hours, you can try at least the 15 minutes and the 5 minutes so that you can level up your entries. So let's try to move on to the lower time frame. Maybe you might see something juicy here. We will move on to the 4 hours. We can try the 15 minutes first. Let's try the 15. You can clearly see on the same area right now we have a break of market structure. You can see that the market broke to the upside from this and even tapped this high here, even though it didn't break above, it didn't close above it. So that means if you are looking to go long in this kind of situations, just wait for the market to come and retest here from this candlestick, which is our demand zone. Then you can go long. So that's how easy it is. But if you go and backtest, I know I'm very fast on this video because I know how to do this efficiently, because I have backtested this like a lot, bro. A lot. So even if you missed this entry here, you can still enter long with this candlestick here. If you are not sure if you want to enter on this 15 minutes, you can still move on to the 1 minute, which is going to be a little bit faster for you to trade. And then if you miss this one, there's another one here to enter to go long. And if you have watched the previous video that I made few days ago about candlesticks coming over to the zone, you will have to calculate that, because we can see that in here the market stopped here and then dropped lower with a lot of candlesticks. So if you go and watch that video, that will help you to find a perfect supply and demand zones in the market. You can see even here. But I think before we move on, let's try another pair, maybe something different. Let's try something different. We are on the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, obviously. Is this Nasdaq? Yes. No, it's just it. Why am I confused? So we can see right now we are on the 1 hour time frame. This one won't be good. I want a perfect example so that I can explain this better. Yeah, I think this one will do. By just looking at this price action here, you can see that we have this bearish candlestick. If we move on to the lower time frame, you will see that there's a break of market structure by just looking at these two candlesticks here. This two here. Let's move on to the 5 minutes and see. Easily so. You can see that you can find setups very easily by doing something like this. You can see break of market structure, price traded below the previous low here, like this. Let me just write everything down. Price triggered sell side from here with this wick here, and then price shoot higher to break this high here. So when the market comes to this zone here, the demand zone, this demand zone here, you will be looking for the market to come and tap here and then shoot higher. And let's count the candlesticks that are coming to this area here. We have this candlestick 1 and a 2 and a 3. So that means when the market comes to the zone, before we can trigger our entry, we need to see at least more than 3 candlesticks coming to the zone. So we can see that right now we have 1, this bearish candlestick, we have 2, and then we have 3. That means we have 3 over 3 right now. So that means this trade is too early to enter because the market seems like it's still aggressive to the downside. I'm not sure if you understand me from here. So that means we have to wait for the market to print out more candlesticks before we can take the buy position. So we can see we have 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7. We can see that the market was shooting lower. And I know some traders will enter with this candlestick, put their stop loss below here. So that means the market will come and stop them out and eventually move higher, and then they will regret. So that's how it's supposed to be. And then, no, we have 3 over 3. So it's just an explanation. So that means after you see more candlesticks, that's when you can try to enter the market. Because right now, the market will signal you that price is too weak to push to the downside one more time. And as you can see from these candlesticks, let's clear everything. This is messy, guys. It's very messy. I'll redraw the zone again. You can see that the market was just rejecting this zone here. Rejection number 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 5. So if you want to put a buy limit order for sniper entry, that means you have to wait for the market to at least push above this 3 candlesticks. We have 1, 2, 3. That means right now it's too early to put that buy limit order. So we will put our buy limit order here after we have seen another candle or another candle. So that means right now it will be 3/5. So that means the market is still weak to the downside. So in this case, you just have to put your buy limit order maybe on this next candle, and then this one will trigger it. Even this one, this bullish engulfing candle, triggered this candlestick here. It was triggered with this candlestick. What's wrong with me? So yeah, that's the whole of this video, guys. And then another thing, before we close this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and also give this video a like. I know I was very fast. I don't know what's wrong with me today, but also the link to the Telegram channel is in the description below. Come, let's build this community with a lot of information that I'm giving you. That's all I want from you. Just give this video a like and subscribe to support the channel. That's all. I guess I'll see you on the next one.